Hey, it's me. It's animated me. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and it's time for another episode of Completed It. Movie reviews, pop culture, celebrity guests, and all that good stuff. Oh, and my good friend over there, Sacha Lari, as my co-host. Hey, Sach, hit the titles, brother. Hey everybody, welcome back to Completed It. It's another episode and it's a very special episode. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And as you can see in the top left-hand side of my screen, my co-host is back from his travels in Australia. Sash, how are you, my friend?
All good, refreshed, ready to podcast.
Well, welcome back
So
from
yeah.
literally traveling to the other side of the world. Anyone that knows me knows my favorite film of 2025 that I've seen. I've actually lost count how many times I went to the cinema to see Superman
I
2025.
feel you need to go to the doctor the amount of times
I
you've gone and
I
seen
I
this film now.
may it's heading into yeah I've lost count. Joining us today we have someone who was in the Superman 2025 movie. Tatiana Piper, how are you, my friend? Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi guys. Thank you so much for having me. Excited to see what we're gonna get out of this today.
It's absolutely. We've been so very fortunate. We had the lady who played Superman's mum in the movie, and it's absolutely amazing to have you join us. Just tell us, Tatiana, how does a role like Superman come about? Because I followed you on Instagram for a while, and you said it's not easy getting roles. Being an actress or an actor is it's not easy even in 2025, where things may be a little bit easier than they were back in the day.
Mhm.
How did the part in Superman come about for you?
Um, so I would say acting in general, it's not an easy industry for sure. And every single time, every single century comes with their own challenges. Um, you know, right now even though we have such a great amount of exposure and we can literally audition for anything we want in any spot in the world, so are the other people. So the competition is way higher, and now we about to compete with AI.
Hmm.
So to answer your question, it was as just as a regular audition. I basically, as an actor, your work is auditioning a lot. So it's not about, like, oh, here's your role in Superman. Would you like to take it, kind of thing.
Yeah, if only, right?
You, yeah, you are building your portfolio as you go. There are some things comes to you, in a very, very amazing way, and they'd be like, oh, I have a project, you're right for it. That's the easiest way to get the project. But for the project where you have over 1,000 submissions, you have to audition as a next guy. So I got the audition I usually get auditions through my agent, and I did my best with that. And yeah, here we go.
Landed the role. I mean, how did you find out? Did you find out was it through your agent, James Gunn? I mean, I can imagine it was like when you find out that you're going to be doing such a iconic film. Superman as a film is like, wow, it's
Mhm.
known worldwide. It's probably one of the biggest worldwide known films of all time. Everyone in the planet has heard of a Superman movie. How did you
Yeah.
find out and how did you take the news when you realized you were going to be working for DC and James Gunn?
It's a great movie, biggest of 2025, I believe. So I haven't heard after I submitted my audition. I haven't heard anything for a couple of months, and I never like auditions and submissions never really linger in my head.
Hmm.
I kind of went through that already, and it's old news for me now. I audition and I forget and I move on. So I haven't heard for like a couple of months. Completely forgot about that audition. And then my agent called me, and he usually doesn't call me. He usually texts me or like emails me. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, why? What happened? Of course, I'm like going to my negative thoughts immediately. Um, and he goes, okay, so I have really, really big news. Warner Brothers saw your audition. And I'm like, okay, well, I can die happy now. Like, like I was like, oh my God, this is
Yeah.
amazing. Because the ability just to give you like a little breakdown of how it works, like a very simple breakdown. For example, if you have a role like that, especially in that caliber, you have thousands of people who want it, right? So you
Right.
have, I don't know, so many submissions. Like, let's just do 1,000 submissions.
Hmm.
Agents, and out of those submissions, agent have to like, go through. And another thing, to be able to get that audition, you have to be also selected, so to speak. It's not just
Right.
like not everybody is getting audition. So those 1,000 people are already selected out of like, I don't know, no, 10,000. So out of this 1,000 submissions, agent, casting directors go through them and then pick, I don't know, let's do 30. And
Hmm.
then we're gonna have callbacks, and then those callbacks we have maybe two three the best ones, and then the other people decide. And it's extremely, it sounds complicated, but it's a lot of time, it's a lot of talent, it's a lot of people who make it happen, kind of thing. A lot
Mm.
of opinions as well. So to be able to land a role, it's a pretty big deal, especially in a bigger project like that. So basically, what was the question again?
How did you find out about the role? Was
Oh
it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
through James Gunn, through Warner Brothers, your
So yeah,
agent?
yeah, yeah. And my agent basically called me and he goes, "Yeah, so they saw your audition." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's a big deal. It's a
Mm.
great deal because it means that I was selected already and I was sent to other people,
Hmm.
not the casting, but Warner Brothers, right?" And he goes, okay, I'll call you back in like shortly. I'm like, okay, bye."
Left you hanging.
So he calls me back literally 10 minutes later. He's like, "And you booked it." And I was like, what is the project though? Like, because everything is just so secretive, and
Right.
there's a name that wasn't even a Superman. Everything is coded. I knew it was some sort of superhero movie.
Oh
I
wow!
didn't
So
know that
when
it
you
was Superman.
audition, you didn't know it was for Superman 2025. They just tell you it's a superhero movie, and you're like, okay, I'm auditioning, and then you find out when you actually got the part that it was Superman.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
wow!
So the only thing I knew was James Gunn. So I was like, okay, that's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, sometimes um it's it's weird. You never really know the project. It's always a guy, a girl, a person, something, you reading something for
Hmm.
somebody. You have to literally make your own world and kind of like have a essence of what it is. So for me, I was like, okay, it's a superhero. Obviously, it's a world that I have to create in my mind, and it's not going to be like The Office and from like a Peachtree Street that is just, exists in real life. So, yeah, that was amazing news. I until this moment, I kind of like look back at it and I was just like, this was just absolutely amazing. I didn't know how amazing that was until I actually came on set. I was like, oh my God, this is huge. This is big. But back then I was like, wow. I was still gonna hang up on the thought that Warner Brothers saw my audition. I was like, yay.
Definitely. What's it like when you walk on set of a big, such a well-known, like I say, everyone. There's is not a person alive that likes movies that doesn't know Superman. So when you eventually get to set and you've got James Gunn and David Corsoy and Nicholas Hoult, etc., and you find out that you're playing a Baravian tech guru, what goes through your mind when you're like, hang on a minute, I've done everything. I've beat thousands of people. I'm now on set of a Superman movie. What goes through your mind when this all happens on day one?
So the first day was pretty much rehearsal, and us getting to know things around us, like their office where we're gonna work. And I was literally like a kid at a big store. I was just like, I want to press every button. It's so cool. It looks amazing. It's just, there are just so many things that help you imagine this world, and not even imagine, just it kind of settles in you and you feel like this is this is the reality now. Like this is new reality, right? Because a lot of things that were built already on set, I was surprised how many things they actually created. There was no green screen in my scene in like when we were working for Luther Core. There was no green screen. There was just everything was built. Everything was until like even trash cans.
Wow.
That's how detailed that was. So yeah, it was amazing, super cool, literally like a kid in the store.
Yeah, I can imagine. What was it like working with James Gunn? I mean, what's it like seeing him in person? What input does like everyone knows he's a great, great film director. I was super excited when I realized he was getting hold of DC and Superman and Supergirl and projects going forward. What was it like for you? What interaction did you have to have with James Gunn? What was it like working with him? I can only imagine it was just awe-inspiring.
He is amazing and very talented and super down to earth. He is just like he would show up on set with the coolest t-shirt that says something like, I don't know, if you reading this, you cool or whatever. He's super casual. There was no fear on set. Everything was just so collaborative
Hmm.
and felt like a very big teamwork of friends. We basically worked side by side for 2 weeks, and he was always full of a lot of enthusiasm and childlike imagination.
Hmm.
Every single take was filled with some sort of improv or an idea that just like kind of came to his mind, and he would just like announce it. We were like, okay, let's try it, let's do it. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. It felt very comforting and like you are getting together to create something really fun and exciting. It didn't feel like work.
Mm, I can imagine. What was it like being with Nicholas Hoult? Obviously, taking on such a role of Lex Luthor, such an iconic role, again, known
Mhm.
throughout the DCU. What was it like working with him? Because you had so many interactions with him. Honestly, in the movie, it was great. You must have heard 1A quite a lot. What was
Yeah.
it like? What was it like working with him?
So Nicholas also, he is a tremendous actor. He also has a British accent, right? He is a British actor.
See?
So when the camera stops rolling, he goes back to, Nicholas,
Mhm.
who is very cool, chill, has a little British
I
accent.
like it.
And and we usually every morning we would be in the same like makeup area and hair. Well, he didn't have
Oh yeah.
much hair, but like he needed to be polished, and it was just so like I don't know, like you are driving on on the tube with your friend. He's
Hmm.
just cool. He just nice. And also that when the camera starts rolling, he immediately um gets in the character, turns on his menace and like kind of like a crazy edgy persona,
Hmm.
which was very surprising as well. It was really nice to work with him. It's easy to work with him. Very professional, always knew his line. So James had a lot of room to play with him.
Hmm.
With Nicholas, he would like throw him some things, like let's do this, let's improv this. So there was just a lot of things that we would able to do because Nicholas always was prepared and ready to go.
Mm. What was it like for you when you finally got to see the movie? I remember seeing on your Instagram you went to see the film when it come on. As an actress, is that like a oh my God kind of moment? Are you like you look around and you're like, I'm in Superman. It's the biggest movie of 2025. Explain to me that feeling of when it's done, you've filmed the movie, it's all done, it's in the can. But for you, just as a person and an actress, when you sit down and watch the film, are you like, holy shit, I'm in Superman? I mean, what was that like for you when you got to watch the movie?
So weirdly, I thought I'm gonna be like relaxed, enjoying like soaking up the moment, I was freaking out. I was so like, my adrenaline was through the roof. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. And as an actor, you have to be ready for absolutely anything
Hmm.
because your scene might be cut out or something might be, changed up and you're no longer in the movie, like anything. And so many friends of mine and family members knew that I was in the movie. So I was like, there's just so many people. They're like counting on seeing me. What if I'm not even there? Or like, what if the movie like not good or something? Of course, there's just so many thoughts. But as soon as I start watching, I was, it was a bizarre feeling. It's such an unreal feeling to seeing yourself and all your fellow coworkers on the screen and imagining that some people seeing it for the first time. And I'm like, oh my God, this was our life for, big part of a month.
Yeah.
This was just, it was hard to even believe that this is a movie. I was just like, they're interrupting our day work in a way. So it was absolutely, I was so grateful also. I was freaking out inside. It was all amazing feelings just burst into one explosion and yeah.
Mm. What would be the biggest thing that you would take from working on Superman 2025 when you look back at it now? I mean, you're sitting down doing interviews with us. I saw you with my good friend, buddy Luke, the Geek of Steel. You
Oh
were on
yeah,
his
yeah.
show. I'm good friends with him. He's such a cool guy. I mean,
Hello.
now when you look back at it, when you look back at the Superman experience, what is it that you're going to take mostly from that experience?
Um, I think never stop looking at the world like kids do. I think that my biggest I would take because I for the majority of my career I always play very realistic, very dramatic, or sort of like a yeah, very realistic things.
Hmm.
And that was one of the few experiences that I had in like this supernatural, superhero world on that scale. And seeing like every single person being giving in to this reality and being so truthful to themselves, having all their stakes there. There was no like, hee, this is just not real. Everybody off and on camera believed in this world fully. And only kids sometimes, I mean, of course, some adults too, but majority of kids has this ability 24/7,
Mm.
oh, like look at this, I'm a magician, and they truly believe that. As an adult, it's harder to do so.
Of course.
So you have to kind of like tune those little bolts tighter a little bit, like your imagination kind of release the pressure of like, where's my reality?
Mm.
And believe that. So I learned that from James as well. He is a great at bringing that kid out and like let it play. So yeah, that was one of the biggest takeaway. Take
Mm.
it as exciting as possible.
Exactly, because if you think with the original, we all grew up, me, Sash, and a lot of our friends, we all grew up with the original Superman movie, so Christopher Reeve. But for you,
Yeah,
like you make a great point there. For a lot of younger generation and kids, you guys are going to be maybe the first look that they get at a Superman film. Obviously, James Gunn's completely reinventing the DCU. So in 15, 20, 30 years' time, you're going to look
yeah.
back and go, I was at the first point of James Gunn's Superman. Is that something that resonates with you? And you're like, hang on a minute. This movie is literally going to stay with you for your entire. You're going to go on and do hopefully great things in your career. We're going to see you in many. You've been in Netflix shows, etc., etc. But you're always going to have that moment where you can say to kids, grandkids, cousins, friends, family, you can go, "I was in Superman," and they'll be like, "What?" Is that something that resonates with you? That it's going to be something that's going to be with you forever?
It's like now you mention it, now it's like kind of settling in more. I guess there's just so many things about this experience that I haven't fully processed. It's of course it's like a legacy, being a part of that legacy, being part of that amazing, um, super cool universe. It's a dream of so many people, and there's just such a great community of fans, of superhero fans,
Hmm.
that I got to know. And I feel like it's a big honor to be part of that universe and leave my little mark.
Last one from me, so I know Sasha's got a few questions. What's life been like after the Superman movie? You're sitting here doing things like this. I've seen you on podcasts. Is it one of them moments where you do have to sit back and go, life's actually never really going to be the same again? Because you're very on your Instagram. You're always posting about how life was hard, like getting jobs, getting acting, and you're always very supportive of actors and actresses getting roles, which I think is brilliant. But for you now, the film's done. How much has life changed for you since Superman 2025? Because, like you say all the time, you've gone from no auditions to really struggling for roles, and you put that on. You're very honest about that on your Instagram, and now you're helping other actresses, actors, like say, look, never give up. And I think that's a great thing. I see that on your Instagram and I see that on your social media. And you like the definition of, look, never, ever, ever stop doing what you do, doing what you love. Because things like Superman 2025 can happen. What's it been like since the movie's done and dusted? And how different has your life been?
So it's definitely I got to know a lot of people in this community.
Hmm.
I would say, obviously, when you have a credit like this, there's an authority to your voice immediately, and people start listening to you more. Doesn't matter how much knowledge you have before or had before. Only when you get to a certain point, there's some sort of like, oh, let me listen to this person, you know?
Mm.
So, and for the long time, I also do social media, like influencing, and I have collaboration with um, companies. And before Superman, acting part of me, acting my acting was always my main thing. But I didn't really advertise. I didn't really broadcast that I'm an actress on my social media. I had good projects and great projects, and I had those two communities separated in a way. So after Superman came out, it was just hard to keep it down in a way. I had to tell my trustworthy audience about this experience. And then I found how many people would love to know how I did it, what I did. And, for me, it was very important to be not just honest and truthful, but also motivational, because this experience, it's not my last experience. This is not going to be there always going to be something as long as I stay in this industry.
Hmm.
And a lot of people haven't had that little break or big break or whatever. So it's very important for me to motivate those people, because as long as you stay in this industry, there's something gonna happen. I'm not gonna tell you when, I'm not gonna tell you what time it's gonna happen. You just have to be more resilient than the next person, you know?
Mm.
So for me, like having that outlet to talk about it, which I think is amazing on its own. Definitely changed a lot of things for me as a person. So, and in my hometown, Atlanta, a lot of people learned that, represent Atlanta, that
Nice.
I was in Superman, and also a lot of pride from my agency, from, people in my class, in my acting class. So that was very kind of people to like reach
Mm.
out and congratulate me, which was I always thankful for things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say like my life has changed completely. I'm still the same person, but I'm the person who learned that anything is possible, literally. And even I had, weirdly enough, I had a vision board. I do vision boards every single year, and 2 years ago, on my vision board, I just put a superhero movie there. And funny enough, I'm not that like, please don't get offended, beautiful fans of Superman, but I'm not like a biggest superhero movie fan, you know. I it's not the top of my list in the genre.
Mm,
But for some reason, my I just wanted to be in a superhero movie. I was like, I just want to do it. Never done it. I want to do it. And the fact that it happened, I was like, okay, how can I tell everybody that it's possible? Anything you want is possible. Just don't limit yourself. Don't make yourself smaller than you are. Even if you never even got in touch with people close to that particular thing that you want, your mind is your limit, literally. So,
mm,
and I'm proving example of that. So that was also important for me to understand that the limits are only in my head, and anything I want can happen.
mm.
You just gotta want it bad enough.
100%. Last one from me, so I know Sash has some questions. We know there's going to be a sequel, Tatiana.
Hmm.
If the call comes from James Gunn again, what would the answer be? Up for being in the sequel to Superman?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I can't wait for the sequel. But when you work with someone like James Gunn, does it inspire you to push even harder, do even more? Because, like you say, he's such a world-renowned director, and like you say, a very down-to-earth person. But when you're
Yeah.
with someone like James, does it motivate you to do even more?
Of course. I mean, he's also just such a hard worker. He nonstop works. He literally, even now, you go to his social media, he is working on something constantly.
Mm,
So I love that sort of personality where you don't expect things to fall into your lap because you have a name in the industry. You work for them. You
yeah.
work for those, and it also shows very well in anything you do. If you're doing something, do it 100%. Otherwise, what's the point? So yeah, that definitely motivated me in a big scale to keep going, to be the best version that I can be in this industry, and not wait for things, but just act like you already have them, in a way.
Mm, I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. Sash, the floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, was just looking at your IMDb, and I was just wondering, so Superman looks like to be like the biggest blockbuster you've worked on. How does it compare with other projects like Southside Vengeance and what's it, Republic of Ambrose and Sacrifice and stuff like that from the smaller projects and stuff? Especially the short films as well. I mean, I guess with short films you have more of an intimate relationship with, say, the directors because there's so few of you and stuff like that compared to the big budget stuff. And I was just wondering what's your take on working on something massive where you're just a little cog, but compared to something, what I mean, smaller scale. And which one do you prefer out the two? Do you prefer to work on the big budget stuff, or do you prefer to work on something small scale where you'd probably get more screen time and that sort of thing?
I'm an actor. I love to act. I give me platform and I'll do it on the street.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, so that for me, it doesn't matter how big the project is. Anything, I also feel like actors who are chasing big titles, um, I have a conflicting opinion about those actors because how genuine are you in this industry? This industry is about giving a part of yourself to audience. Choosing what audience you give yourself to is interesting to me because as an actor you're a crowd pleaser, you're a people pleaser in a way. So there's a if you haven't any opportunity, of course there's just like some comfort level involved in it and like a values and all those boundaries and stuff like this, but if you're picking between two projects and criticizing one project because the budget is like 5 times less and I'm not going to do it for that particular reason, and you are still a smaller scale actor, I don't think you should be an actor, unless you're already A-lister and you can pick and choose and say like, great, but unfortunately that's not going to cover my bills this month. I can't take that because I have 10 other uh, um, what are they called? Projects, basically. Propositions. Here we go. But when you are starting out or building your portfolio or had good credits like in indie films or some guest stars and co-stars in the shows, say yes to things. So for me, I always had that perspective. If somebody pays me to play, hell yeah.
Definitely. No, most definitely. Sacha, anything else, bro?
What superpower would you have if you were given a
Ooh.
superpower?
Oh, I like that.
I was okay, so that was my biggest question to me since I was probably 5 years old. I was like, what should I do? Like I was I read this I'm Russian originally, so I read this book by Nikolai Nosov. It's like a children's book, but it's very profound, like a long tales about this boy who got a um, magic stick, and he decided what he wanted to do with that. And I was like, so what kind of power would I like create for myself if I would have a magic stick rather than just like make everything happen? I was like, should I stop time? Should I fly? Should I whatever? And I think nowadays, I think it's every time it changes, but nowadays, I would love to learn everything in a split of a second, like a new language or a book that I cannot finish in like 2 months, but just read it in a second and know exactly, or some history facts. I don't know why. I just want to have that ability,
Have that
memorize
Matrix moment where it's like uploaded in your brain and you're like, oh, I know
exactly.
it now. Yeah.
Exactly. So sort of like I wouldn't say AI, but like having a human mind, but just like this using my brain 100% rather than like as a people we use it 20% or something like that.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
just having that, knowing things about everything. I don't know. I don't know why I want this, but I want this.
So, as an actress, what would be your dream role? Do you have a dream role of what you'd like to play, or are you just open? Like, is there certain characters that you're like, ooh, I'd really like to play that one, or oh, that person did it that way, but you know what? I think it's my time to show people what I'm made of. What is that role, or are there many different kinds of roles that you're kind of interested in?
Great question. So I would love to have a role on a comedic project, comedic show, sort of like The Office, or The Friends. Because I'm a very quirky person, even though I tend to play very dramatic roles. I have this side of me that I love to bring out when the role calls for it. And of course, when it comes to something more dramatic, something more action, something like that, would love to be in some British sequel of James Bond.
I was literally about to say to you, I think I could see you in a James Bond film.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. That was going to be my next question. I was like, I think you'll be perfect for a James Bond role.
Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So yeah, because I love how they always bring diversity in their cast, and you never know. So
Mm.
putting the vibes out there.
Last few from us, because I know your time is very precious. What was the moment growing up? Obviously, you said you grew up in Russia. What was the moment for you where you knew that you wanted to get involved in the industry of being an actress? I mean, was there a specific moment where you thought, you know what? I'm going to go for this. I know you obviously, like you say, you grew up in Russia, you moved to the
Hmm.
United States. Obviously, it's a big risk. You're leaving home, you're leaving
Yeah.
friends, you're leaving family. Was it a case of, like you said earlier, look, if you want something, you have to go for it. I mean, me and Sash and everyone talks to me about our media work that we do and like what we're trying to do with our podcast. And I always say to people, look, you start off with a little podcast where we're recording on Zoom, but you never know. I get to do things like this. It's not every day I can chat to my friends and go, what did you do last night? Well, I sat down with someone that was in the Superman movie. What did you do? And they're like, wow. I mean, what was it for you? Was the moment when you were like, do you know what? No, I really want to do this.
Growing up, I loved observing people and act like them.
Mm,
Uh, Weird, but I just loved, transform myself and act like my granny, or put on my mom heels and like act like my mom. And I saw how people laugh, and like they were laughing and they were joking. I was like, oh my God, this is like, I love that feeling of making somebody feel something, right? So, and then I remember very, very early on, I also went to ballet school, which was every single place that I went to, like I went to ballet school, I went to swimming lessons. I was always like, it was hard for them to put me in the box in the way. They were like, okay, stay still, sort of thing, and like repeat like everybody else. But I was like, I can't, because I need to do more. And
mm,
like in the swimming school, I would like literally dive under the water and hide under the water and like swim away because I didn't want to do those like laps. And I
yeah.
would imagine that I'm a mermaid, and that my coach would be like, okay, I don't know what to do with her. She just does from mermaid stuff under the water for the entire class and just hides from me. So swimming school wasn't for me really. But I just knew that there's just something about that feeling of performing, doing something, being somebody. And I always felt like one life is not enough. I always
Mm,
wanted to play more lives, be different person, to see how those shoes feel like. So, and then I understood like a little bit older, when I was a little bit older, I was like, this is, that can be a career. You can be an actor as a career. And my family did not really want me to commit to something like that, because it's obviously it's not very steady. And especially in this post-Soviet Union
hmm
atmosphere where everything is just so um, scary in a way. 9 to 5 feels like the only option, and good education, it's everything. Art wasn't really celebrated. So I just knew that I am gonna be miserable doing something that I need to do because society told me so, or because my upbringing told me that you have to just 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 clean up and just do those things, like in the frame, sort of,
mm.
so to speak. I knew that I'm gonna be miserable. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get an education and a very good degree, and then I'm just gonna do things my own way.
Mm. But great. What's the one bit of advice you'd give people? Like I say, I follow you on social media, and I think it's great how you're so supportive of actors and actresses who want to get involved, and you're always publicizing how you can help them and like reach out and stuff, and the different the programs that you run. What's the main bit of advice you'd give to people? Because it's a cutthroat industry. It
Oh yeah,
being in Hollywood, whether you're in from a low budget film to Superman 2025. It's such a
yeah,
hard industry. I get it all the time. They're like, oh, Andy, go and do media. I'm like, if it was that easy, we'd all be doing it. It's not like a
yeah.
case of, oh, I host a podcast, Warner Brothers, hi, give me a job. I mean, it's hard. I mean, what's the one bit of advice you give to people when they say to you, like you mentioned to us earlier, people are now asking you, how do you do it? How have you done it? What do I need to do? What do you say to people now when they come to you for advice and say that they want to get involved into the film industry?
Um, I would say, first of all, analyze and see why exactly you want to do it. What is the what is the meaning for you in this, and what is the ultimate goal for you?
Mm,
um, if it's fame and red carpets and awards and meeting famous people and be famous and all that stuff, it's gonna burn you, it's gonna take your juices out, and it's gonna be extremely hard. You have to understand like what's your purpose as a human being. It's hard, absolutely hard, but just just look down on your life and think, what can I do? If there's literally nothing you can or want to, or you just nothing else is aligns with you, go for it. Be as resilient as you can be, because as you said, and this industry is extremely challenging, and it's a skill to stay yourself, not lose yourself, while being everything else or everybody else that they want you to be, basically. But it's extremely important to stay true to yourself, stay uh don't lose yourself in this industry. And the only way to do that is to know exactly why you're here, you know. So your demeanor, everything about you will change if you are here for the wrong reasons. You're just gonna lose yourself, and it's not gonna bring you any fulfillment or happiness. So yeah, just choose your reasons and go for it. Don't apologize, don't look at anybody else, don't compare yourself. Just,
Be
go for
you.
it.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Tatiana, we've been doing this for about a year now, the Completed It podcast. This has been one of my favorite interviews. We cannot thank you enough for
Thank you
coming
so
on our show.
much.
I've been telling people all day, they're like, what are you doing tonight, Andy? I'm like, interviewing someone that was in Superman. They're like, what? I'm like, this is why we love doing what we do over here at Completed It. We've been so fortunate to sit down with people like yourself. It really does mean a lot to us that you take the time, just 45 minutes out of your day, to come and sit down and chat to us. I hope 2026 is as good as 2025 was to you, my friend. But thank you so,
Really
so
appreciate
much
it.
for coming on our show. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for this amazing, comfortable platform to talk about things. And I wish you guys only the best. I love your enthusiasm, and you're gonna go big places. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Sash, I will catch up with you later in the week, my man. We've got more Marvelous Mondays coming up. We are we're nearly at the end of the first part of the Marvel universe. Anyone that wants to check us out, just go onto YouTube, type in Completed It Podcast. You can find us on Twitter. Yes, I still call it Twitter. At Completed It Pod is where you can find us, and the same on Instagram. Just type in Completed It Podcast. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. Till next time, everybody, stay safe.